Hello and welcome back to Executive Assistant Mastery. This is episode number 2. If you're an executive assistant, virtual assistant, event professional or an admin, this is the channel for you. I'm going to share some great top tips today on organising a corporate event, but particularly corporate gifts. I'm your host, Maria Fuller. I have worked as an executive assistant for the past 30 years. I've also organised many events in my corporate career. I've written 2 books, How to be a PA and Executive Assistant Mastery. You can find them both on Amazon. So if you missed episode 1, that was all about off-site event support and managing your attendees when they arrive at the venue. Today's episode is all about the corporate gifts you give to your attendees at your event. So let's get going. We need to understand, firstly, what type of event we are managing in case it's not an off-site like we covered last week. So let's just write down quickly the different type of events you might be asked to manage in your role. I've just written down really quickly the different types of events that you could be asked to organise as an executive assistant. Now, off-site, team event, strategy retreat, executive leadership event, company kickoff, conference, seminar, workshop, summit, trade show, or expo. Now, there's a mix here of internal events and external events. So events where you've got internal staff colleagues only in attendance, or events which are more client-facing, customer-facing, such as a trade show or an expo. The mid-size events like a conference or a seminar could have a mix of internal and external people attending. It's important to understand the type of event that we're running so that we can start thinking about the corporate gift that's going to be the most suitable for our corporate event. What's the date of the event? The lead time, so we're going to work that back. So how far away is this actual go live date? And that gives us our lead time, that gives us our runway period of ordering and shipping. And where's the venue? We need the date, we work out the lead time, so that's the number of weeks, and we need the venue, which is the address for delivery. So that's logistics and lead time sorted. Next, we're going to think about the gift strategy. So what do we want our gift to do for the company? And you might think one gift does it all, it's a gift. Well, you want the gift to reflect the strategy of the actual event so that the gift and the event marry up with each other. What is the gift strategy? Is it a company message? Is it about brand awareness? Are we focusing on a new product and it's a new product launch and we want to announce that? Is the gift related to employee awards or some kind of incentive for salespeople perhaps? It could just be a gift for people who've attended our event. So it could be a general thank you for attending, perhaps, in the conference or the trade show. Is our event regional? Is it regional to the US? Is it international? Is it UK? So your gift might want to reflect that. Or is your event global? So you've got people flying in from all over the place, so that gift needs to tick a lot of boxes with a lot of different people. So various things to think about there. What do you need your gift to do? What is your event's focus? And the two need to tie in with each other. They need to be relatable. Next thing we're going to think about is the brief, the budget, and who's going to sign this off. If you've been tasked with managing the event and the corporate gifts, or maybe just the corporate gifts, by your exec that you support, then the first thing you need to do is actually ask them if they have got a brief for the corporate gift. If they haven't, then that's fantastic because we get to use our free rein and come up with some really great options for them. So, is there a brief for the gifts? Because there may or may not be, so it's always best to just ask that question first. Is there a budget for corporate gifts for this event? We also need the number of gifts required because the total number of gifts required could be very different from the total number of attendees. It depends on the strategy of your gifts. So there's a few things that we need to lock down here before we go off shopping for the gifts. Brief, the budgetary amount and the total number of the gifts. The other thing that we need to understand is who is going to sign this off. When we get our proposal together of the gifts and the different options that we're going to share, is it just our boss who's signing this off, or is there another stakeholder involved? So for example, if you're working with an events team and they may want to have an input on this final gift selection process, who's your stakeholders? Who is going to sign off this corporate gift before you order it? Check that information first. I've just written down procurement. Procurement is the fancy name for shopping. That's something that we all enjoy doing, especially when it's with somebody else's money, such as corporate gifts. Where are we going to purchase the gifts from? Before you get to that stage, let's just go back a little bit. Let's talk to our marketing team first, because we need to understand if there's anything in-house that we could use for our event. So I'm talking about existing stock that's already been ordered, and it's sitting somewhere in someone's cupboard, and we could potentially use that. It's also very good for sustainability if we're going to use stuff that's already been produced instead of going out and ordering more. If it's a negative from the marketing team, we know that we have to go externally to find our corporate gifts. So ask marketing if they have a preferred vendor, which they might already in place, because that saves a lot of issues maybe in setting up payment systems. But if it's a one-off purchase, run it past your boss. If they're happy with you just going direct to the vendor, fine. One of the biggest tips that I can give to you is always get your goods shipped to the venue. Don't make the mistake that I might have done years ago, which was actually having them shipped to my office and then thinking, how do I get them to the venue? That's now created a load of hassle. So don't go down that road. You need to get your goods delivered directly to the venue. You need to always factor in a few days of contingency time. Make sure that your venue is aware of the goods that are arriving and to look out for them and to sign them off. And make sure that you understand where the hotel has put them. Ensure that you're kept in the loop of the venue receiving the items and where they've stored them for you. So if you followed through all of these prompts and you've worked through with your boss what's required, then now we're going to have a very short shopping list really, or a more refined list of what we need to go out and procure for our event. We're going to call this our key deliverables. Let's say the event type is a summit and we know the date. So we've been able to figure out our lead time. We have the venue address locked in. We know from talking to our boss that it's a delegate gift that's required. The reason for the gift is a thank you for attending. We also know from talking to our boss that the budget per person is £20. We're not the most generous of companies, but hey ho, things are tight right now. So £20. That gives us a bit more of a challenge when it comes to sourcing the right gift. 62 people. And we've spoken with our marketing team and they don't have anything in stock that we can use for this event. So we know that we've got to go externally. Now, because this event is happening in a different country to where we're based, we have to find a supplier that's in that country. Then there's less shipping and the goods will get there faster. So thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to add any comments below about the corporate event you're working for or the corporate gift that you're going to choose, then I'd love to hear from you, and have a great week. See you soon.